This is Reverend Rick Beatty from Unity of Royal Oak. This year we are presenting 12 Powers of Christmas. Starting the day after Christmas, we highlight one of the 12 powers, which are 12 aspects of the Christ consciousness that we are all born with. I hope that you enjoy, but more importantly, utilize these powerful tools towards personal awakening.
Hi everyone, April here to share just a little bit with you about the first of the 12 powers of man, which is faith. To understand the 12 powers, though, you must know that they are 12 expressions of the one power, the Christ within each of us. And what is meant by the Christ is the fully awakened human being. Basically, it's a state of consciousness. Charles Fillmore also saw the 12 disciples of Jesus as symbolically representing each of these 12 pathways, each of these 12 powers of the Christ. And so what he did is he believed that each disciple manifested one aspect of the Christ more perfectly than any other, and he had connected that power to that disciple. Peter became faith, representing faith in things spiritual, faith in God. Faith is the ability to believe, to intuit and perceive. Faith is the ability to say yes to God, to say yes to good. Faith draws our good from the invisible to the visible. The corresponding color is royal blue, and the location is at the base of the brain. If you'll join me for just a moment, take a deep breath, I'd like to share with you an affirmation of faith, one that maybe you can take into your day. So just feel these words for a minute as your own. Faith blesses my day and paves my way. I confidently co-create with the divine in every area of my life for my highest good. I effortlessly make the invisible realm of divine ideas manifest as my life. My faith creates my world, and it is good. And so it is. Your faith works wonderfully well with understanding, another one of the 12 powers. And imagination is activated by the power of order, and so on. But the truth is, in reality, all of the 12 powers are always at work, working together, even when one may seem more predominant than another. So before I close out for the day, I'd like to share with you a few questions that are brought up in some of the, not only the 12 powers of man, but some of the other books that talk about the 12 powers and some of the insight from Charles Fillmore. So the first is, why is faith put to the test? And we've all experienced it, right? Well, we are tested so that we may demonstrate and become stronger in faith when needed. Just like our muscles, the more we work them out, the stronger they become. Faith and strength go hand in hand. Now, you may not have thought of it this way, but another question that's often asked is, what are the two attitudes of faith that are brought out? Now, you may think of it as two types of faith rather than attitudes of faith. The first attitude of faith is intellectual faith, which admits doubt and hope of fulfillment in the future. Spiritual faith, however, includes unfailing assurance and immediate response. These two attitudes of faith are often observed, acting and reacting upon each other. When the I am has faith in the spiritual power, there is no longer any doubt of faith's ability to rise above the negative consciousness. So going back to Peter, Peter was the first and greatest apostle of Jesus, but he was originally known as Simon. But another question that is often brought up is, well, what does his name mean, and why did his name why was it changed from Simon to Peter? Like, what's that about? Well, the name Peter means rock and represents faith. Simon, hearing, represents the spiritual receptivity of the mind. So listening to the truth in a receptive state of mind opens the way for receiving the next degree in the divine order, which is faith. Peter represents the strong, unwavering, enduring faith in God. Peter, stone, rock, kind of what that represents. Represents the ability of the mind to lay hold of and establish ideas in consciousness. From Simon hearing and receiving the truth, he reached a new level of consciousness, and Jesus saw him as the rock, as Peter, to build the church. So that's how his name was changed. Now, another big thing is what's the difference between trust and real faith? And we could have a long discussion about that, but simply put, trust is the weakest brand of faith, if you will, but of course it's better than mistrust. As a rule, persons who merely trust the Lord and not understand the divine law, if they had understanding, another one of the 12 powers, which we all have within us, so if we tap into that, they would affirm the presence and power of God until the very substance of spirit would appear in manifestation. Faith, as I mentioned before, is in the center of the pineal gland. The faith center opens up the mind to man to spiritual faith. The faith center is quickened into consciousness by merely affirming the activity of the superpower of faith in the mind. And that change in mind signifies a shifting of consciousness, causing a radical change in thought and word. And we know, even from our 5 unity principles, that our thoughts, our words create our reality. So every thought that men have expressed through mind has existence through the mind. The mind generates an energy that contacts the universal energy and causes circumstances and events to fall in line for the attainment of the latent ideal. We've heard that faith is the assurance of things hoped for. So if we think about the difference of trust and faith, trust is trusting the process. Faith is not needing even to know the process. Faith is not needing to know the how, but simply feeling inside and allowing yourself to know that all of these 12 powers combined, that you will receive the strength, the wisdom, the power, the understanding, the order. All of those will come together to guide you and lead you to all the answers that you have questions on, to all of the responses that you need. That's what faith is. It's the knowing, not needing to know the how, but the knowing that the how will be brought forth and that you will be guided to where you need. So I wish you truly a consciousness and a heart and a spirit of faith, that you may work with these 12 powers, strengthen them, and allow them to work through you. It's a great way to kick off the new year. Go on a scavenger hunt, if you will. Go looking to where these powers show up, not only within you, but in the world around you and your daily activities and other people. Have fun with it. They're alive. We just need to nourish them and stir them up a bit. Have a great week. Thanks for letting me share.